Have you ever crocheted with linen yarn? Let's put it to the test. I'm going to be showing you how I've used linen yarn, which brand I'm using, and what I've made with it. So stick around, stay tuned. I'm about to jump into a full yarn review with you. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Christina from City Bright Knits. Welcome to my yarn review for Hobbii Olivin. I'm going to be telling you all about this linen cotton blend yarn that is going to be perfect for spring and summer, so you'll probably want to sit down and listen to this whole review because I'm going to be breaking down how I used it, where I got it, what I made with it, and whether you should use it too. So if you're somebody who's looking for a perfect new yarn for your stash, particularly for the warmer months, please join me because I'm breaking it down for you here. So what is Hobbii Olivin? It's a linen blend yarn made of 50% cotton, 50% linen, and it comes in a range of soft muted colors, perfect for spring and summer projects. The texture has a slightly crisp linen feel, but softens beautifully as you work with it. It's labeled as a sport weight, and the recommended hook size is a 3.25, although I will share in a little bit what worked best for me. I was really thrilled to get this yarn because I noticed it came out last summer and I actually never got my hands on it. So this summer I really wanted to get a head start using it and see what I thought. I was really curious about linen. I've used cotton before, I've used bamboo before, but I've never used linen yarn. So the fiber content and feel of this yarn is really unique. It's different than if it's just 100% cotton, because sometimes cotton can feel like a little rough when you're using it, and this one has a 50% cotton, 50% linen blend. So when you're using it, it does have a little bit of drag to it on the hook, but only in the best way. Let me show you how I'm getting started using this yarn. It has a nice label with all the information. I'm just gonna pull that out. Now, this yarn does not have one of those easy start tabs, so I do find that pulling it from the center, you have a little bit of some resistance. Each time I pull this out, it's kind of like the big knot that comes out in the middle. So that is one thing about this yarn. I will say that it's just, I've gotten kind of used to the easy start tabs on yarn. So this one doesn't have that, but it doesn't make it any more difficult to use. It just means I have to find the ends here. And I'm using it with a 3.75 millimeter crochet hook, so it is quite small. I've already worked up a little sample of granny squares so you can see what the weight of this yarn looks like worked up. It's really beautiful muted pastels. It's a thin, nice stretchy material, perfect for spring and summer as you're creating layery, airier pieces. For the design that I'm working, I've chosen these muted colorways in kind of pinks and purples with a little offset of blue. And I've already started working up a swatch just to see how it works up. Let's talk about how this yarn actually works up. First off, it doesn't split. I know that's a big concern when working with some linen blends, but I found this really easy to work with. It glides smoothly over the hook and the stitch definition is absolutely gorgeous, especially for textured stitches like the double crochet and single crochet alternating lines I used here. The tension holds well, and even though linen can sometimes feel stiff at first, it does get softer as you go. Okay, so let's talk about first impressions. As soon as I received this yarn and opened it, I was mostly taken away by the subdued pastel colors. They're really predominant in the sophistication, and they're just such timeless colors. I think they're really going to be a classic that you can add to your stash. So Olivin yarn comes in 18 different colorways, which I think is really great. It offers these kind of muted tones for summer. And this one's kind of like the orange color. This one's more of like a fuchsia color. I also have a purple here. I've also used the light pink and the light blue. So I really have a nice taste of what the different colors are. And I think they just work up so nicely because they do have kind of a striated two-strand color worked in there. So it's a really nice yarn if you're looking for a luxurious kind of more natural looking colorway that's not just a bright bold. It does have a little bit of muted colors worked into it, so it's a really nice option for kind of that hand-dyed look when really it's not hand-dyed, but it's widely available to you. Recommended online, it does recommend a slightly smaller hook size, a 3.25 I believe. However, I opted for a larger hook size, just it was preference for me, and I found it to be absolutely perfect. I think that you could really have fun manipulating this yarn even if you worked it on a larger hook size to kind of have some bigger openings between the stitches. So for this yarn, I used two different hook sizes. I used a 3.75 millimeter hook and a 4 millimeter hook just for when I did the body of the work versus the edging. The edging I did with a slightly smaller hook. However, I will say that it worked perfectly on these hook sizes. As it has the linen in there, it just gives it so much more of an organic and natural feel when using the yarn. So when it's on your crochet hook, it just has a slight drag to it, but that's because it's really developing a really yummy texture forward look. I've used it behind me, and you can see that this doesn't just kind of like fall flat. It really has a nice feel to it, which specifically if you're using it to make something handmade just gives it that elevated lift of luxury. So I grabbed this yarn as part of Hobbie's Harmony campaign, and I'm using it to make this freehand crochet design of a tank top. It's 100% my own design. I had the freedom to create what I wanted to with this Olivin yarn, and I will say I was very satisfied and pleased with how quickly it worked up. I didn't have any issues with the yarn knotting or getting tangled. It was really easy to frog where I needed to, and it has a perfect amount of stretch for a wearable. Now let's talk value, because this is something we're all concerned about when we are making yarn purchases, especially online. So Hobbii Olivin is priced at about $7.80 price point US. So for a linen blend, I think it's a really great value because it performs so well. It has that high-end look and feel without having those high-end prices. If you're someone who loves a natural fiber blend and doesn't want to spend a fortune, this is definitely worth considering. Plus, a nice note to mention is that Hobbii does add a quantity discount. So if you are ordering more and more balls online, you can get a discount based on how many you're ordering. This could just be a great addition to your stash. Okay, so here's the big question. Would I recommend Hobbii Olivin? Absolutely. Everything is great using this yarn, especially for lightweight garments and accessories. It's soft, breathable, has a gorgeous texture, and makes any project feel special. But now I want to hear from you. Have you ever worked with a linen blend? What's your go-to yarn for spring and summer projects? Let me know in comments, and if you find this review helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow crochet lovers. Thanks for watching, and happy crocheting. Big thank you to Hobbii for sponsoring today's video and letting me try out this yarn. While this video is sponsored, all opinions are 100% my own, and I'm sharing honest thoughts and reviews in this